Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Syazatu Akmal binti Muhammad and my partner Syazatu Natasha binti Shamsul Jubairi. Today we will be presenting about different learning method among students. For the introduction, do every student use same learning method? The answer is no. All students have different learning methods that are suitable for them to memorize and understanding. So, to improve learning efficiency, students have to explore their own learning skills. For credibility, when I was in high school, I also have difficulties in learning. Usually, I tend to follow what my friend used for learning method. However, the however, I cannot even understand or memorize what I have learned. So that's where I understand that everyone has different learning method. So for the first graph, this graph showing the techniques for better learning material. For description of data in this graph, they have EG1 and EG2. For the EG1 is showing the experimental group 1 for medical care students. And for EG2 is showing experimental group 2 for dentistry student. There are 4 different types of techniques. The first one is color image. The color in this For the color image, there are 65 percentage for the highest that showing for the experimental group 1 and 54% for experimental group 2. Next, technique for text without illustration. The lowest one is 20% for the experimental group 1 and followed by 26% for experimental group 2. The third technique is animation with the highest score with 72% for experimental group 2 and followed by 64% for experimental group 2. For the last one, for video material, the experimental group 1 score with 66% and experimental group 2 score with 78%. So for this data analysis for this bar graph, it's showing the highest percentage of the techniques is 78% in video material for experimental group 2 for dentistry students, while for the experimental group 1 for medical care student, the highest score is in animation with 72%. And while the lowest percentage for this bar graph is 20% for techniques text without illustration, and followed by the experimental group 2 in 26% in the same category. This shows that the visual learning techniques is very effective for the each group, while the non-visual is less effective. Next, I pass to my partner, Shazatu Natasha.
Thank you, Akma. Next, we move to the graph two. So this graph is about percentage of children who use different study method. So it has 7 strategies. First is underlining or highlighting. Second is taking notes. Third is reviewing notes. Four is drawing a pictures. Five is verbalization. Six is self-testing. And the last one is rereading. Next. Okay, for the data analysis, uh, based on the percentage, most preferred study strategies among elementary students is reading, with 19% of students using this method, followed by underlining or highlighting at 65%, and taking notes by 37. Uh, Next is less commonly used strategies include verbalization at 18%, and drawing a picture at 8%. And the least used study strategies among elementary students are self-testing at 5% and reviewing notes at 1%. Next. Okay, so for the conclusions, it is important for students to acknowledge what the study methods that are suitable for them so they can enhance their understanding and improve academic performance. And also, to understand the children's strategies, studying and helping them to preparing their later grade so they can have responsibility for their own learning. That's all from us. Thank you.